Here we are. Oh, there I am. And that little dog is Buster. It was Pauline Bobbiak's dog. And that's myself and my brother Michael.
And where are you?
In front of Grandma and Grandpa's house on what?
Kimbar?
Kimbar.
No, that must be the back house.
The
Yeah,
back
that's the-
house. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you guys live in the back
Yeah.
house?
Yes, we did.
So that was really where you lived.
And make sure to identify
How
yourself.
about how old do you think you
Eileen?
were?
Eileen.
How old?
Daughter of Joe and Helen.
Right. Correct. Oh, is that John or Mike Sklar? Who would that be?
That's Mike Clark, because
That-
he was always the fatter one.
And my mother,
Oh,
Helen.
That's M.A.
Yeah.
And this is Mike Sklar, do you
Yeah,
think?
Because
Okay.
Mike was the heavier one.
This
And
is at my
this
mom and
there
dad
was
building
Eileen.
the house. And there's my mom.
And there was our house. That was Mike.
Yeah. And my dad down there and Mike Sklar, right?
This is them building the house
My
back
mom.
in
And
the...
Grandpa Kazeski, my
50s,
mother's
50s.
father.
And
my
this was
dad.
break time. And building.
Building the house in Hazelcrest.
Yep. And my dad.
The foreman of the operation. There he is. Let's
That's-
trust him.
That's
Trust his
Joe
judgment.
Hinko.
Let's get on the roof
Correct.
right now.
Son of Sabina and John Hinko.
Right, oldest son.
Cheers.
What year is that car?
Nasrovia.
Oh, that's an old 40s car.
Now is that the house?
That was Demetrius's house, wasn't it?
Yeah, and here's
Oh,
a
that's-
pond that was close to that.
With Michael.
Michael Fishing.
Yeah.
And pretty soon we'll see
That's
Eileen fish.
Mike Hinko. He's the son of Joe
And
and Helen Hinko.
And that is Cork. Do you think that's
I
Uncle
think that's
Cork?
Corky, yeah, that looks like him.
And that's me, Eileen,
Eileen.
fishing at the pond in Hazelcrest.
Now watch this. Watch this move. Quick wave.
She still,
Total
she
concentration.
still does that.
I do. And that's Grandpa Hinko.
John.
John
John.
Hinko.
Yes, he was what a wonderful man. And that's my mother, Helen.
Sawing wood.
She always
needed a plank.
Yeah. She was the
Yeah.
project manager and the worker. Okay, that's Grandpa
This is the-
Hinko again.
Building the structure, which still exists today.
And there's Joe, my father, and Grandpa.
And when did they build that house?
There is, I believe,
Year
Pauline's thumb, or
55?
finger, in the front of the screen.
When was it, what year?
1955, wasn't it?
55?
About that. Yeah.
It was earlier than that.
And here's the group.
Okay.
Now,
The boys.
That's like a
Who are these?
47
Does
Mercedes
anybody know
convertible
these
Ford
folks?
convertible.
We're thinking
I don't know any of them.
this might have been Pauline
Quarts of
Bobbiak.
beer. Got that.
This was part of the Legion group. Don't you think the American Legion,
Yeah.
how they used to, what year?
46 Pontiac, 42 Plymouth,
Now, I think that's my brother, Mike.
54
No.
That's Perry School.
That's what I said, Donna.
Uh-huh.
Very
who's
school.
that guy?
49 Chevy.
That might- Bob
that
Bobbiak?
might, that's what I was, yeah, Pauline.
Turk.
Bob.
Bob
Turk.
Bobbiak. Yep.
Nicknamed Turk.
Yeah.
James Dean.
Yeah, because she lived right across from
Who's
Perry.
this?
And that's
48,
Teddy
49
Bobbiak.
Plymouth.
And Buster, the dog.
Now,
I know all the dogs.
Pauline Bobbiak was
There's
Cor-
Jerry
Corky's
Denvit.
Corky.
Jerry Demkowitz,
Demkowitz, yeah.
right?
A
And she
longtime
was
friend.
so much fun.
now she
To
was a friend
visit.
of the family.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
she was a
was.
longtime friend for years and years as they grew
And that's Perry
old
School.
Yeah, Pauline lived right across the street from Perry.
Yes.
with,
It
our,
was.
with our folks.
Okay, what
Joe
year
and
is this,
Helen.
Bob?
55 Ford is the newest car there.
Back to Florida.
55 Ford.
There's cork in the water.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was Pauline taking footage of.
Yeah, that's
that's
Corky.
Cork.
Yeah.
And that's Corky, Nick Hinko,
Yeah.
known to everybody as Corky, and he was again another son of John and Sabina's.
The youngest.
Oh, that's Grandma, I
Young.
think.
That's
Grandma
Yeah.
Sabina.
Sabina
Sabina.
Hinko.
Catching a fish.
And
And
Nick Hinko and John Hinko.
yeah.
Grandpa, Grandma, and Uncle Cork.
Cork in the middle.
John Griffiths.
I think, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Is that Yeah, that's your brother, isn't it, Donna?
I don't think
Grandma?
so, it didn't look like him.
Yep. Donna, trust me.
You want her glasses?
This had to be Lookout Mountain, we
Yeah.
decided, right?
Yeah, I know I've been to Lookout Mountain.
That's Grandpa Hinko and Grandma Hinko. Wow, she's still got dark hair.
Exactly.
Wonder
How old do you think they were?
Well, in the 50s?
1950s?
Probably about our age now.
We decided that last night. And so this is still Lookout Mountain, don't you think?
Yeah.
Which would be,
Chattanooga.
Lookout
what,
Mountain,
Marsha, 30s you're
Chattanooga.
saying? They'd be in their 30s, 40s?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, older.
And there's
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah, no, I
What
think
a
they're
fabulous
probably in their
man.
50s now.
And there's Grandma. What a gem. She always had food. I loved her for that.
And she always had her pocketbook when she was out.
There she is. Wow. That's magnificent. Okay. Who is that?
59-4.
That was a ne'er-do-well from the area. Nobody but family knew.
There was always picnics because Grandma just didn't think anybody should have to go to a restaurant to eat. And she always packed a nice picnic lunch wherever people were traveling.
Absolutely.
Observation tower. Where was that?
I think
In a
we're-
forest or
I think
national
all that is
park?
Lookout Mountain.
This is
Lookout Mountain?
Chattanooga. Yeah.
Chattanooga.
Mhm. This is where the 7-state thing, you can see 7 states.
Yeah.
Nobody had bottled water.
No.
No,
No.
before bottled water, before
They
plastic.
had separate taps too.
And there weren't McDonald's. That's why you brought a lunch. You had to sit in a restaurant and you could not just drive through.
That's exactly it, Donna.
So this must be in the 50s, about around the mid-50s. By the
Yeah.
cars that have been shown.
Well, that would make sense because this is just after the sequence of them building the house. And when I was born. Mike and I.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Mike? And speaking of, no, this
This
is
is my
Mike.
brother, Mike. Yeah. Joe's
Do you
son.
think this is out at the cottage? Where
No,
would this be?
I think one time I went.
No, that wouldn't be.
we
Lake
went
Michigan.
to the Gulf
Not there.
side of Florida.
Mm.
Is this you, Donna?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I went with that time when Mike went with.
Okay.
And this was like in Daytona, not Daytona Beach,
Chattanooga.
Panama City, Florida, on the Gulf side.
Donna, now watch for, who are these people? Wait a second. We didn't know who these people were.
Yes.
Grandma. Is this Joe the Polak from Fort Pierce?
And not
Remember?
Fort Pierce. You know what? We went to,
Who is that? Who is that man?
Polak Joe. Cork, remember? Cork would stop and get oranges
Yeah,
at
look
his
at him.
orchard.
Who is
Who is that, Donna?
we stopped to visit somebody, but it was like in the middle of the state.
Who are those people?
Yeah.
I don't know who those
Fort
people are.
Pierce.
Fort
This is
Pierce.
It
where-
wasn't Fort Pierce, it was in the middle of Winter Haven. Cause,
Okay,
Yeah.
Winter
'cause
Haven.
I remember thinking, why would anyone live in this area? You know, really.
When you could
I
live
mean,
on the ocean.
Yeah,
and
it was
snow,
the middle of the state, there was like nothing there.
palm trees and warm weather
That was
and
Winter Haven.
mosquitoes.
Okay.
And
Well,
I-
that's a
hoping Forky
1957
wouldn't
holes
look
that
for
was
any
in the
property in
in the
that
driveway there. 57 holes, so it has to be about that year, close to it.
Some chair weaving could have begun in those. Yeah.
That's an inside joke. We'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
okay,
that's got to be Panama City.
this has to be 1958. Do you know why?
Good girl.
Because I graduated high school, and that year I graduated, I went with them, that winter.
58.
And Mike.
Very good. There's Mike.
We decided this might be
And-
St. Augustine, the fort at
Yeah,
St.
it
Augustine,
is.
because of the cannon and
Now,
the.
who is that? Who is that?
That's
Mike and
Donna
Donna.
and Mike.
My brother Mike.
Oh,
And
See,
Donna,
I'm 18
you?
years old there,
That's you at 18.
yeah. Because the year I graduated high school, I went with them.
Okay.
And where did you go? Where is this Lookout
Florida.
Mountain?
Yeah,
No.
Lookout Mountain,
Yeah, this is Lookout.
winter.
Now isn't that your brother?
John.
Yeah,
You know what? That is younger than what you had.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's out of
Okay.
sequence for
Yeah.
years probably.
Rock City, a top lookout.
Yeah. I'm younger there than I was in that last one.
But that's John.
That's John and Donna.
John's no
Of
longer
course, he
with
was
us.
Bouncing the.
Oh,
oh
wow.
yeah, he has to show off his great
Showing,
arms. Maybe
showing
he's
the
trying to.
guns.
I
I
don't
think he's
think.
trying to get a little bit of suntan.
No,
there.
I don't think we went to Florida on this trip. We just went to Lookout Mountain. That was the trip.
Good girl then.
But that one where I went with Mikey, we went to Florida.
This is always good.
Marsha.
Okay.
That's me.
Now we go back.
Rosalie
We
as
go
the
back in
beauty
time
queen.
again.
Lipstick.
She's adorable.
Me. Nice ears.
And Sandra the Star.
Sandra.
Okay, that's Rosalie. That's Marie Griffiths' daughter. Marsha is Mike Hinko's daughter. Sandra is Mike Hinko's daughter, and Eileen is Joe Hinko's daughter.
You remember?
Very well married.
Now, where is
And
this?
they're all sitting on a fence.
Is this on Avalon or is
And the
this?
swing that Grandpa Hinko built.
I don't know if this is this.
Built several of those swings.
Whose
Who had the
backyard is
Dozens
this?
of them. There's Joe
Here,
Hinko.
but I can't think of what it is.
Dad, PA.
That yeah.
My dad.
Time to have a smoke.
And Rosalie.
And there's Marsha.
Marsha wearing the
Galloping
most
along.
amazing pair of pedal pushers.
Aren't you making yourself dizzy?
That's a good
Why did
look.
my mother make me wear those?
And Mike getting,
Okay.
there's
Okay.
Mike being himself. He
Yeah,
is still like this today.
today. He could do that today,
Well,
right
there's
now.
And Pauline on the right.
I
And
see Doug there. Rosalie.
Rosalie. And Joe Hinko.
And this is
And
why
This is
I
where
am.
Dolores, the
Oh,
wife of
Dolores,
Mike
the wife.
Hinko, and Mike Hinko sitting next to her.
This is why I am like I am.
Uh-huh. And Mike is the way he is. He got it from his pop there.
PA.
and look at the food. You know Grandma
There's
was
Pauline.
Next
Wow.
to Pauline and Dan.
Was that
Yeah.
Pauline?
Yeah.
That's
Was
your mom and
who?
dad?
involved. Who was next to Pauline?
There's
Your mom.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Marsha.
That's,
I caught it.
I was 11 years old. I remember that outfit. Wow. So
Alright.
that was 1957.
Hamming it up.
This looks like your house, isn't it, Eileen? Inside of it?
Who had that carpet? Look at the carpeting.
Yeah.
Very distinctive.
Oh, and
Now,
this is
this-
one of their
Real
musical
subtle.
Jam.
evenings.
Yeah.
And my dad with the bare feet.
There's Rosalie.
Yeah,
right?
Rosalie. Helen Hinko. My dad, Mike Hinko. She always played the mandolin. My dad played the guitar.
Yeah, that's a Washburn.
And there's
Yeah,
Washburn
Marie.
guitar.
Perfect.
Marie Griffiths. Hinko Griffiths.
We were trying to guess the
Can
song.
you see your mom doing that with her leg too? I mean,
Yeah, we were
And
trying to figure out
and
what
Marsha.
song
her.
Uncle Mike was singing at that point.
Whose house is this?
I
I
don't know.
think this is Grandma and Grandpa's
I think
house.
so. I remember that
really do.
TV.
Mm-hmm.
And look at your dad.
Yeah.
I'm giving me hairy legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I let him.
That's funny.
Who, is that Uncle Mike that you're sitting on?
Yeah.
Mhm. We were so easily amused.
I'll tell you, they
It's a
played
family
Before
good
video
band
games and the
all
internet.
that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure that's
And there's my
Grandma
mom,
Hinko's house.
Helen. I think
Pat.
it's Grandma Hinko's house too. Yeah.
Also known as AKA
Oh,
Pat.
that's
Yes.
my dad. I was sitting on my dad's legs. Oh, there's Uncle Mike.
Your mom and dad.
Dolores.
And
Dolores
Marsha.
Hinko
And Marsha with the amazing
There you are
pedal
again.
pushers again.
Pedal pushers and all.
Wow.
Who had the blue swing? I don't ever remember the blue swing.
That's New
That had to be
Jersey.
in my
Lou.
grandparents.
Lou
Lou,
That's Lou.
Uncle Lou, married to Aunt Helen.
Zelovitz.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's
that's-
Auntie Helen.
Yeah.
Next to him.
And Aunt Dolores and Marsha.
There's
Rose.
Sandra.
No, their last name was
Zelovitz.
Zilovitz.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm sure this
Cheerleading.
is a
Who's
routine
that?
Mhm.
Who's that one?
of some sort.
That's
The second one.
I Eileen,
Yeah.
Is it
Marsha,
Eileen?
Eileen,
Oh, okay.
Sandra, and
Rosalie's in the
Rosalie.
back.
A chorus line.
That's a signature
She's a
smile
girl.
of
Yeah.
hers.
Uncle Mike Hinko.
No, I think this is in the backyard of the Drexel Avenue home. So
Aunt
that's
Marie.
Grandma and Grandpa's home.
That's me
Donna.
and my friend Judy from
Uh-huh.
Perna, a high school friend.
Is that
No.
Who's
Marie?
that little girl?
That's Deborah.
Deborah?
Debbie,
Oh,
Deborah
your
Hinko.
sister.
look
Yeah,
at the Jay's
uh,
potato chips.
Always Jay's potato
And
chips.
that's my mom, Dolores, and this
That was
is
Dolores.
Rosalie.
Rosalie.
This
And
is 1958.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
you
Because
there,
I
Donna.
had, yeah, I know it. Because I had graduated then.
And the grill is always going.
And
I
there's
think
Marie.
my dad,
Marie
Mike Hinko
Griffiths,
Sr., had
Hinko
the
Griffiths.
barbecue always going.
Salt.
Check out the
Yeah.
salt.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
I think
Wow.
it's Adolf something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that called Adolf's or something?
Adolph's meat tender, right?
Razor.
Marie Griffiths.
And Debbie.
Look at Debbie, which is a little.
Debbie Hinko, Mike Hinko's daughter. She was the youngest.
Genius of work, I think that was.
That was your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is.
There is Mike
A
Hinko,
very young man.
always grilling. There's
And
Mike-
there's little
Mike Hinko
Mike.
Jr. Yeah.
Mike Hinko Jr.
Me
Hmm.
from the back.
We think these were a gift for like Mother's Day or Father's Day or a birthday to Graham and Grandpa.
There's me,
Johnny.
Yeah.
little Johnny, the youngest and best looking of the Joe Hinko family.
Yeah. You had to be all dressed up for an outdoor
Oh.
picnic. He must have been dying of
Now
heat.
watch this.
Yeah,
He looks
They
very
look how
comfortable.
smooth.
Oh,
Boom.
Yeah.
Grandpa did not recline much. He was always working. And Grandma
nice
was
to
always
see-
cooking.
Nice to see the little guys with Grandpa, or the little kids with
Oh.
Grandpa.
That little
Now-
briefcase there.
Is
Mike-
that Mike, John, and Debbie?
Mike
Yes.
and John, cousins, were 2 months apart, and Debbie and Mike
Maybe that was a
were
purse.
brother and sister 16 months apart.
yeah.
So the little
Uh,
kids
And Grandma.
all together. It's so
Sitting
nice
down
to
by
see
Grandma.
Grandma Hinko holding her little grandchildren.
There is the creator of this video right in front.
Yeah.
Well, the actual creator of it
Well,
is
yeah.
is Nick Hinko. Corky
There's Aunt
shot
Marie,
most of this.
always
But you
serving
are
food.
coordinating all of this.
Yep. Yeah. And Marie offering up.
Mhm.
Kapusta? No thanks.
Pork chop? Anyone?
Do we have
There's my mom.
cheeseburgers?
There's
Oh, hey.
Aunt Pat, Helen Hinko, wife of Joe Hinko. There's Joe Hinko.
With some
Is that
shades
your
on.
dad?
Yep.
Wow.
And
Here it was
John.
dark.
This is the cottage in Beverly Shores before it was
What
actually erected.
Oh, 59.
There were some
Dodge.
outbuildings on there, but the actual cottage that was built by John Hinko, my grandfather, and his sons, has not yet been built. Just the board ramp up there. And this
Wasn't
is.
that building in the back, wasn't that the Boy Scouts?
They said I think it had something to do with the Scouts, and now we're
This
headed
is
back
picking-
down to
picking cotton in the
yeah.
south.
somewhere down south, probably heading back down to Florida. And the Hinko family did and continues to head down to
Pauline.
Florida.
Now there's
Tradition continues.
Who is-
Pauline. What was her last name?
Unless-
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobiak and
And I think that's
Who's the older lady?
Pilecki.
Really?
I don't
I'm
That's
not
Uncle
There's
Lou,
Jerry.
Lou
No, that's
and
Lou
Helen
and Helen.
Zilovit.
And
Now-
Marie. Aunt
Now,
Marie.
was Lou or Helen related to our family?
Helen.
Helen?
Yeah, she was a
who-
Sklar.
Oh, she was related to Grandma Hinko.
Yeah.
And there's Aunt Marie.
Now,
And there's a Statue of Liberty.
Ellis Island.
every time we went to visit Helen and Lou in New Jersey, they lived in
Seymour.
Seawarren, New Jersey. We took a ride on the Staten Island Ferry and saw the Statue of Liberty. That was the big deal thing to do whenever we went to visit there.
Wow.
I never saw it. I was too young. And it's affected me through all these years.
Yeah, you're warped.
And
You can tell.
patriotic.
And a lot of these family relations,
Helen
There's
uh,
Helen.
Court. Aunt Marie.
I'm going to include with this recording another recording that was an interview I did with my father, Mike Hinko Sr. And if you're interested in getting more information on those relations, watch that video of my father, an interview I did with my father back in 1991.
Now this has got to be the New York World's Fair. That's Helen and Lou and
My
Marie
mom's
Griffiths.
What year would this have been?
It was about 1965, 66 was the World's Fair, I believe. I know my mom took me there right after I graduated from, no, it couldn't have been after I graduated.
What year are those cars, Robert?
Firestone. It's like the Firestone.
63,
The
64.
Firestones.
That's the cottage.
And
There's
Yeah.
the second cottage.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
me and my kids.
This is after
Donna
the
and
construction of
Donna's
the
children.
cottage.
Yeah.
Donna's
And your
children.
kids,
Yeah.
and they're,
That's Donna, Jim,
Looks like
Holden,
Easter.
Karen, Jimmy Jr., and Greg
Greg.
was just
Donna
one
and
off.
Jim Vargo.
That's Easter time. See, we're dressed up. That's Greg, Jimmy, and Karen, Jim, and Donna.
all dressed
Boy,
up,
look
even
how
though
nice
you're out
and
at
dressed
the
up we are.
You're out at the cottage.
Oh yeah, and there's your mom. There's Marie taking the picture there on the right.
Now who's that?
Oh, those are some of my brother's kids.
Yeah, that's
now.
a group.
That's probably Richard.
Yeah.
The oldest, and Lisbeth. They're the two oldest.
And there's Grandpa, you can tell just from the walking, way he walked. But I look at these pictures and I can just smell that
Yeah.
cottage smell of that
Yeah.
wet sand. It's just a distinctive smell it always has.
And blueberries.
Look how cute this
Mhm,
is.
the wild blueberries.
Somebody's gonna try to make it up a little.
Is that
Little
Elizabeth?
end.
Yeah, that's Richard, and the other one is Elizabeth, my brother's two oldest children. John Griffiths, oldest.
Anybody remember
Whose
the dog's
dog?
name?
I
don't
don't
know
know
the
whose dog
other
that was.
64 Pontiac.
Pluto.
There's
That
my
was a
dad,
key.
Joe.
There's,
Hinko.
There's
yeah,
Pete.
Joe Hinko.
Yeah, this is probably 64 Easter, because Karen was born in 63, and she was being held, where she wasn't even a year old yet.
There's
Oh, there's your
Oh,
dad.
Richard Griffiths.
There's Dad.
Richard Griffiths.
Ooh,
Uncle
someone
Dick.
owns a super
Dick
sport
Griffith.
Marie
convertible.
Griffith's husband.
No, Rosalie owned that.
63 Chevy
Uh-huh.
Super Sport. Ooh.
Rosalie, yeah, that was
fancy.
Rosalie's car. Yeah, she had a convertible.
And there's
That's
Joe.
Joe.
there's PA.
Wonder what he was doing up
He's-
there.
Going to have a smoke.
Now, Grandpa Hinko laid the bricks on that patio and driveway. I remember him doing it thinking, isn't he too old to be doing this hard work? But he worked like that up until the time that he died. He just
He did.
worked like crazy all the time. I don't think he knew how to
Well,
not
there was
work.
There was a segment.
And he
too,
was
which
the total craftsman.
Oh, he could do
Yeah.
anything.
He could
Do
do
you know,
anything.
do you guys know he also did tailoring? There was always that treadle sewing machine out on their
Okay,
back
this
porch.
is my mom's house, I think on South Park Avenue. So 101 something, South Park.
Aunt Marie's house.
Yeah.
Marie Griffith.
And so who is that? That's one of John's.
No, that's one of my kids. I think that's Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
Now this is
I
the,
And
recognize
here's
the
the cottage in the
jacket.
winter.
yeah.
Cork.
Nick Hinko.
Yeah, we went up there all different times of the year.
John and I used to slide down the driveway in a.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Saucer.
Many years later, yeah, even.
that's Uncle Cork. You know, I know, Mike, you and Deb went sledding out there one time and slid down the dune on one of those saucers, and you couldn't get back up again because there was ice underneath the sand, and you kept slipping back down again. Somebody had to go get a rope and help to haul you back
That
up.
was a steep incline.
Yeah, at one time it was.
Who is that?
That was
Okay.
Cork, I think, going
Mhm.
upstairs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We had this cottage out in Beverly Shores until National Lakeshore purchased it, and we leased it back until what year was the last year that they had it there?
Cork held on to it.
In the 80s?
I would say, yeah, sometime early 80s.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from around 1960 to sometime in the 80s. This is
Where is it?
Bennett Grammar School, Bennett Elementary in
Chicago,
yeah,
Prairie Avenue.
Prairie Avenue, and this is me, Mike Hinko Jr. And you'll see my sister Deborah running up into the picture soon. Corky had come to pick us up. I think probably our folks were out of town, and we were there. We are coming out of Grandma and Grandpa's house on 98th and Drexel. That was just a few blocks north of the Jay's Potato Chip Factory, and he's taken us back to Bennett Elementary after probably a 15-course lunch assembled by my grandmother. And this is a still frame of, as you can see, it's 9807, I think it says Drexel Avenue, and that was their last home. This was the last home of John and Sabina Hinko in Chicago.
And you
We're
went
back
back to
up.
school wide awake and totally alert for the rest of the
Yeah,
learning days.
back out at the cottage.
This looks like a turkey.
Yeah, roasting a turkey over the charcoal.
And who are the roasters? One looks
Well-
like it could be my brother on the right.
Yeah,
Could be
looks
Mike
like it.
and Cork on the
Cork.
left.
Cork,
Yeah,
Corky and who?
Mike.
Is that my brother?
I think it is.
Yeah, he's tall. Taller than any of the other. That's Mike.
There's Dolores.
Yeah,
Aunt Dolores.
Dolores Hinko.
That is definitely look at.
The hunter
That was
and the
Moose.
others.
Yeah.
Get the clubs.
Oh, and the Japanese lights.
Yeah, and the vegetable garden, they always tried to grow vegetables out there. I think they had some problems with animals. Now, why are they putting it back on again? Oh, just to get another shot of it.
Take two.
Yeah.
Nick Hinko, Corky, was a Chicago police officer. That was his career. Joe Hinko was he worked for the city of Chicago in the public. What was it called, John?
Streets and Sand? Public Works?
Yeah, he was with
Plumber.
Streets and Sand. He was
Plumber.
a plumber.
Yeah.
For the city.
Now,
Those are,
There is a picture.
the little kids?
that has to be 1963, because I just saw Greg, and he was about a year old. He was born in 62.
Helen and Lou,
And Joe, PA.
Grandma and
And-
Grandpa.
Grandma and Grandpa Hinko.
Where is that? At the airport?
That's hard to tell what parking lot that is.
What? Who lived here?
Well, I think
this-
they're just probably out in front of Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Yeah, they're shooting from the house to the street there. And some,
Yeah.
What year is that car?
57.
Well, there's
57
57
Chevy.
across the street. And this is PA.
this is Joe Hinko pulling up in a red truck, and
Is that the same red truck that was behind your house when I started going out with Eileen?
Yes, and I was supposedly conceived in that truck.
Yeah.
Too much information.
I know. Sorry. Sorry to all
Get the
that
salt.
listen to this in years to come, including my kids. But that's Jerry, is it not?
No, that's Helen, I think.
Oh, that's Helen. Okay.
What is this up?
Here's the thing that'll make you dizzy.
Look at the wind.
That's the cottage.
Cottage.
Grandpa always built those glider swings. I think
Oh.
everybody
Yeah.
had one of those on their
I know I
backyard.
did when I bought a house.
We had one in our backyard.
Who is this?
I have
Those are people
plans for
from the
building
Legion,
one
I think.
in case you ever decide you
Hanson?
need another.
Did you find the plans?
Okay, do you know these people, Donna?
No, I don't know, but they look familiar. They look like people that, were from the Legion Hall and stuff.
And your mom? I recognize
Don't
them.
know.
They used to have people up at the cottage like that, where,
They were friends and not
yeah,
family.
friends from
They
the
were
Legion,
friends.
they'd go up.
There's
It
Grandpa
wasn't
Hinko.
just family,
Yeah. He looks familiar, but I can't
Does to me too.
place what that is.
John Hinko, our grandfather, worked. His last job was on the Nickel Plate Railroad. I thought, well, maybe he had a couple guys up from that he worked with, but it's just impossible to identify. We just don't
I think
know.
those are neighborhood people, you know. And all that concrete that was put up.
Yeah,
And right behind there is where all those blueberries were.
yeah, the wild blueberries growing up on that hill.
And poison ivy.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of that.
I've been the victim of that many times.
Yeah, you could either walk to the beach on the road, which was a longer way around, or you could take the shortcut through the woods and get poison ivy. Take your choice.
I had poison ivy many times, Marsha.
But it was such a great place. I mean, so many of our summers and as we saw, falls and winters and springs were spent up at this property up in Beverly Shores.
That's the second cottage they built.
Yeah.
They had a
Yep.
different one.
They had an
before
earlier
that.
cottage.
They started
My-
building right after
What
World
I
War
remember
II.
about this cottage is Grandma standing in that kitchen. The sink faced out towards the porch so she could look out at the patio area while she was at the sink. The stove was to the left of that on the other wall, and it was this great big white porcelain stove that had the sunken stock pot in it.
Or a
Where
deep
she-
fryer or something of
Yeah,
that
she
nature.
could cook soups in that stove. She was always cooking, even out at the cottage.
And she came from a family over in either Ukraine or Poland. The border kept changing all the time, but she was from a family of caterers
That's
so-
Rosalie.
And
grandma, and so it was just her natural inclination to just cook and cook and cook, and everything she cooked was right on the money. Was just so delicious. All our memories are filled with the great dishes that she had created.
She was gourmet.
No, nobody can even
Come close.
replicate what she cooked, and of course there were no recipes. Everything, she just knew how to do it.
Now, where would this have been? Was
I
this
think this
St.
is.
Augustine?
It looks like St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Grandma
Florida flag.
Hinko liked to go to St. Augustine a lot.
Of course, she's down on the beach in her shoes with her pocketbook.
Mhm.
Didn't know how to do casual.
And, they took a lot of trips down there, and I think they were looking at possible retirement homes down there. They never did retire down there, but they took many trips down there. Wherever this is, it's-
Daytona.
That's
They're
Daytona.
driving on the beach.
they're driving on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, Grandma was always very expressive with her hands. Always, whoa.
Who's this coming out?
That's
Is that
Rosalie.
That's
Donna
Rosalie.
or Rosalie?
Yeah.
They always took one of their grandchildren with them on their trips, usually. You know, something. I was there, Mike was with them once, Rosalie with them, you know.
Was in the 50s, late
Oops.
50s, 1950.
Hurry back to Florida. Yeah, there you go.
59
Station.
Ford, yeah.
There's Corky.
Nick Hinko, guy that shot a lot of this film.
Yes. He was the source.
He and Pauline.
Pauline is his girlfriend for many years. Pauline's last name again was
Bob
Gasparic.
Gasparic. Yeah.
Now, this is, where would this have been? This is almost Carolinas or?
He was
Is this look
That
out
looks
now?
like me, but I don't remember.
That's me, Diane,
Did you?
with dark hair.
Where was
Oh,
that?
okay.
I
Yes.
have no clue.
Oh, yes. Acting again.
I can tell how goofy.
Theatrical.
Yes. Where was it?
No, there's my
That's
mom.
you,
I bet you
Ralph.
that's me.
Then you're the actor.
You're the
actors.
theatrical
Yeah.
ones.
Almost looks like it could be in Wisconsin.
This
That's definitely me.
Well,
is
maybe
you?
that was you before too.
Eileen,
Was, yep.
what were you
Yeah,
doing
okay.
down there?
Yeah, where
That's
was it?
Lookout
honey?
Mountain now, again.
Where was
Is
this?
that Lookout
I
Mountain?
think it's
Yeah.
There's Aunt
There's
Marie,
Marie. There's Cork.
Uncle Cork.
We're back to Florida, maybe.
Yeah, palm tree.
And there's
Grandpa.
Grandpa and Grandma, and
Aunt Marie
Aunt Marie.
and my brother. I think it's Michael.
Look at the strip.
Yeah, palm trees, that's definitely Florida.
there's Cork pulling up. Is that a Plymouth?
Yeah, I think they're at DeSoto or. I didn't look real close.
I don't know who those people are.
Donna.
I don't know.
Must be some people that they knew.
Oh,
Who's
that's
that?
that is Eileen with the
Yeah.
dark hair.
I
That's
told
her
you.
all along.
How'd your
hair
were
get
with
that
them
dark,
on the
huh?
Yeah, I
trip.
thought you were a natural blonde, weren't you? So that you
I
must
still
have
am.
been dyeing your hair brown.
I think that's a Dodge wagon,
Yeah.
station wagon. Yeah.
Castillo de San
A
Marcos.
part of, I can't read.
Cork.
You'd almost think he was one of the 10 most wanted. The
Oh,
way
I
he-
know.
He wants to be the one behind the camera, not on camera.
John Hinko, Marie Griffiths, me.
Oh,
That's where
everybody
you
was
could always-
drinking orange juice.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
always had free
Free.
orange juice.
And my brother
That's
Michael.
Eileen. Yeah, that's you and Mike.
That's John.
Johnny, running base.
At the house,
Yeah.
after it's been built. And this is Cork fishing.
St.
St.
Lucie.
Lucie River, Florida.
Catch of the day.
Yep. There's Pauline.
What's this?
Yeah, San
Eileen.
Francisco.
San Fran, right?
Yeah.
Fort Ord, yep. In
Not-
California.
Didn't your dad, wasn't he stationed at Fort Ord in the Army? Joe Hinko, was he?
It was in Seattle.
Oh, he was
So
up in,
it was,
oh, he wasn't in
yeah.
California, he was up in,
Might have been Cork or someone else that was there.
yeah, he was,
Where was your dad, Uncle Mike?
he was,
Anybody know who that guy is with Pauline?
no,
Looks like a movie director.
He kind of looks like Mike Mazurki, but I know he's not that.
That might be.
Look.
It really
Look at
might,
this.
yeah.
You think
Yeah,
it
because
might be Mike?
somebody did know him.
Somebody, yeah, he
And
was-
I think they are in California there.
Yeah,
they're in
they are.
So
California.
that is.
You can see the palm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Pauline.
Pauline. Fountain of Youth.
Pauline, yes.
So this
Pauline
is-
and Corky went together for many, many years, but they never got married. And then she died.
She was forever carrying the bright light behind the camera. That's what I remember about her.
Yeah.
Remember when they would hold the big light?
oh yeah, that when you shot this film inside at that time, they had a contraption with 4 floodlights on it.
Some military cemetery.
Very boy.
Yeah.
Oh, now who is,
Delaney.
Delaney,
who was that?
1945.
1945, Second World War.
I think it was some friend or relative that they were very close to.
59 Ford.
I don't know who these
Okay,
people are.
this is a
They're
good. This is a trivia question here.
This is Florida too. Palm tree behind them, I think. Hibiscus.
You know who this is, Donna?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's right, he was a policeman. He was probably a police friend of Cork's that moved down to Florida. I
Oh.
thought. We're making that up.
But it's a good assumption. Looked like Andy of Mayberry with the
Yeah.
in the car.
We're in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pauline.
Cork.
Wow.
Cork.
Straight
Wow.
fish. Cork with an elephant.
San Diego Zoo.
Now you know you could never get that close to an elephant these days.
Pauline. That looks like my dad.
It is. I think that's, yeah, it is. I think that,
That's,
Helen
Helen.
Zelovitz and
Mm-hmm.
I know,
Uh,
where is it? This is MA in the cover.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Helen
Lou,
Blue
Hinko.
Zelovets.
Lou.
Cork.
Joe and Helen Hinko.
When my grandmother came over to the United States, they landed in New Jersey, and I think this New Jersey connection was developed at that time, and that's how it continues.
That would have been New Jersey. I think I was on this
Yeah, I saw
journey.
it. You were there, John.
Now we
Cork
know
was
where
telling
you
her
get
to
it.
move around.
Yeah.
That's me,
Don't just stand there.
hopping in the back. Riding backwards.
Where were you?
New Jersey.
This was New Jersey.
Another
Jersey
Staten
Shore.
Island ferry ride?
Yeah, I remember that.
Snow tires on that car. You know it's from Illinois.
Yeah.
What year?
Another
That's a
picnic.
63 or
Out of the back of
64
the car.
Pontiac.
We
This
could
is-
never be like other
64.
families and go to a restaurant. We always had to have a picnic.
There was always something good in the
This is
back, though.
before
I mean, it was
McDonald's,
always good.
Marsha, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't have those luxuries.
That was her daughter-in-law
lady?
Dottie, wasn't it?
Yes, I think that
It was-
is.
Helen's
And
daughter-in-law,
it's Richard.
Richie.
her
Yeah,
son.
Richard, her son.
Richie and Dottie, and then their
And
children.
Who's?
Helen
Helen's
and
son.
Lou
Okay,
Zelovitz.
daughter. Yeah, okay.
Their son was Richie, and then their daughter-in-law Dottie. And there's John Sklar or Mike Sklar.
Now that I think is John.
Yeah.
'Cause
He was always there
Yeah,
in New
yeah,
Jersey when
yeah.
we went.
Mike used to come into Chicago. That's Jerry Sklar. She was married to John, I think.
Yeah.
There's Helen. Again.
I don't know who that is.
Looks familiar.
God.
This is a man with a purse.
What year?
Bottle of vodka.
Oh,
There you go.
Got a whiskey
I
drink?
don't know.
A vodka drink.
57 Ford, but there was later model cars there too.
That was their son.
That's Gary.
Yeah.
That's Jerry's son. Jerry and John.
A young Elvis.
I forgot about
Yes,
that.
that's the father, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Gary Sklar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Gleason. That's in Miami.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Helen and Lou again and Cork.
Away we go. Isn't that what he used to say to start
Yeah.
the show?
Do you notice how
Away
everyone has
Away
hats
we
on?
go.
Yeah.
Every picture, they all have hats. Nice hat.
Chapeaus.
Well, then maybe they didn't get cancer on their heads.
Well,
Always had
did
them
they?
covered.
They didn't have skin cancer on their
Yeah.
skulls, did they?
No.
Now this
Better
is.
take a lesson.
Yeah.
You better get a hat or two.
Oh, I have hats. You bet.
Uncle
I
Dick
love hats.
Griffiths.
This is the cottage.
You
Yeah,
too.
this
We're-
is not
cottage.
Now this is a
You already were working on me.
It's me and the stripes.
Were they? Did you get a few of them with seals?
No.
Donna, Dick Griffiths, your father, what
Marsha.
was his occupation?
Where are we? By
He
the
worked at
Museum of
National
Science and
Cylinder
Industry.
Gas. I don't know what you would call, worked with those tanks.
And where did he come from? Where did Dick Griffiths come from?
Whales.
Wales.
And how did he meet your mom, Marie?
You don't know?
I don't know. No.
This is at the Museum of Science and Industry,
Yes.
what we're looking at now.
That's Marsha.
Cork.
And then Gary, and who was that? The woman?
Is that Chicago?
Jerry
Chicago
and John.
Science and
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
John's wife, Jerry.
John Sklar was Helen's brother.
Yeah, I think so. I think John and Mike were her brothers.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Marsha.
There's
Marsha.
Marsha doing a little
Strip.
But wait, I'm not the only one.
You're the only one we see.
I'm not
though.
the only one.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
That would be Sandra.
No, I think that's Eileen, isn't it?
No, that's Sandra.
It is. Oh, yeah, that's Sandra. Oh, and then here comes Deb.
Corrupting the poor young child.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Grandpa. And no, that's Sandra.
That's Sandra. Who's that?
Anybody recognize these kids? There was always lots of kids around. There was no shortage
Yeah.
of children.
There's my brother Mike.
That's mine.
From the cottage here, we'd walk through the woods to get down to the beach. And at one time, some friends of my father, Mike Hinko Sr., actually trenched in a telephone cable and set up a telephone system from the cottage down to the top of the dune. So if it was time to come back to the cottage for it was dinner time, they'd call down to the beach.
Wasn't it always dinner time?
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much always.
You ever had any little bit of hunger, you just walk in there and start eating.
Name off some of the things that Grandma cooked. There were pierogies.
Pierogies, all different kinds of pierogies.
Stuffed cabbages,
Oh.
borscht.
Yeah,
Oh, the most delicious borscht.
Oh, breads.
bread.
Jelly Bismarcks.
The Bismarcks.
Oh, yeah.
The bread was phenomenal. It was an egg bread and
Braided.
braided. Yeah.
Wow. Potato pancakes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
potato
Oh, my
pancakes.
gosh.
And sausage and sauerkraut,
Yeah.
and they made their own sausage.
Yeah,
They
they.
smoked it out here at the dunes.
I remember one time I was in her kitchen on Drexel and preparing the sausage, grinding it into the casing to be taken out to the cottage. This is the trail
That's
from
like
the
Jim Vargo.
from the cottage down to the shoreline. That was Jim Vargo. Yeah.
That was?
Mhm.
Didn't look like it to me.
Kind of blurry here.
Wow.
But they'd smoke it out at the cottage. The kitchen at the cottage was probably 5 times the size of the kitchen in Chicago on Drexel Avenue. So they tried to do some of the cooking out there.
But on Drexel Avenue, they also had a kitchen down in the basement
Yep.
where they did a lot of heavy duty cooking.
Yeah.
Fabulous, fabulous food. Kolachkis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
And I remember Grandma cooking on the weekends, and then Corky and Grandpa would come around in the car to our house and leave off pierogies, stuffed cabbages. They always brought them in roaster pans, so there was plenty. And 2 pies, 1 cherry and 1 apple, and they were the 10-inch pies. I think we probably all would have starved if it weren't for Grandma.
So that's my dad, Mike Hinko Sr. Was on the chair next to my mom, Dolores Hinko.
There's Sandra, Deborah, Pat,
Michael, your mom. Dolores. That was Donna. Cork. Pauline.
Now this is down in somebody's basement. This is in Chicago when it was a big family gathering. It often ended up in somebody's basement somewhere. Do we recognize whose basement?
I think it's our basement
I thought it was your house, yeah.
Yeah,
Before your
on Calumet.
Yeah, Calumet Avenue.
before it was finished off.
Yeah, because I remember those great
John
big
Griffiths.
Poles.
poles.
there,
We
yeah.
we went roller skating down there. And
That's Sue Griffiths on the far left.
Yeah, Sue
And
and John
yeah.
and a couple of the kids. Pauline.
Somebody's birthday, looks like.
And also I saw a Christmas tree.
yeah,
That's my dad, Mike Hinko Sr., and he was an attorney in Chicago for his.
so he's probably just coming from work
Yeah,
because he's all
probably.
dressed up.
Yeah.
Or running for office.
Yeah, no, he wasn't running for office when we lived there. It
But
was earlier.
he did work. He worked 5 days and then a half day on Saturday. So.
Well, that might have been Rosalie's birthday because she was blowing out the candles, and her birthday's at the end of the year. So
Probably Rosalie and Corky, they
Yeah, they-
celebrated together 27th and 28th of December.
There's Jim Vargo and Donna and
Yeah.
Pauline, little Mike,
Yep.
Aunt Dolores.
Marsha being very
Marsha.
bored.
No, in deep thought.
Yeah.
There's
Very
Dolores.
scholarly. And
And some baby sleeping.
Always babies.
yeah,
Lots of babies.
The one in the back.
likely
is Greg.
one of John
This
and
is probably
Sue's.
62, 62. That's Jimmy.
Yes, it is, Donna.
There's Cork. Mike Hinko Sr.
And Marsha.
standing with Marsha.
Oh, that's me. No, that's Sandra sitting down. Yeah, my mom with philodendron plants, always philodendron plants.
So we
She would
know
take
what it is.
cuttings off of them and grow more of them. We had them all over the place. Well, they did eventually finish off this basement, turned it into a family room down there. They had a lot of parties.
Yeah, there was like about a 20-foot bar at one end of the room, then a shuffleboard made out of linoleum on the floor.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And an ice grinder
Santa
behind
the
the
Star.
bar, if I recall.
There was an ice grinder behind the bar. That was at 10448 Calumet Avenue in Chicago.
Wow.
That's
And our
my
phone number
brother-in-law,
was-
Jerry Vargo. This, you know what? This is at my house. There, a birthday party. Yeah. At 7004 Chestnut.
Whose birthday party?
Probably one of my kids, I suppose.
Grandma.
Yeah.
And there's you, Donna, right?
Sue Griffiths.
Yeah. Yeah, this is at my house. It's 7004 Chestnut, Hammond, Indiana.
Grandma.
What year would this have been?
Aunt Marie.
1962, I'd say. I gotta see how old Jimmy is. If he's 1 year old, it's 62.
There's
And
your
that's
dad.
kind of what I'm thinking. That's James Senior.
Sue Griffiths. Looks like Grandpa from the back there. Dick Griffiths in the corner.
Now see, Greg is a year old, so it'd be 63, 1963.
Who's that in the corner back there?
On a cell phone.
No, I'm sure it's not a cell phone.
That looked like Grandpa. And John, you're in the far right corner, bottom.
With the sailor
Oh,
suit.
no, that's.
Those are, that guy in the corner
I'm
there
older
is,
than that.
That's Rosalie there,
There's Mike.
and me, Mike Hinko Jr.
There's me,
John Hinko. Yeah, there's him.
with the cool sweater.
Jim Vargo.
That was after we bought a house. That
Yeah,
was the first
it's
house
actually-
we had.
That was,
That's my sister-in-law,
that was Jimmy that had the
Gail.
Navy suit on. Was that Jimmy?
No, you know,
Mama
he has the
in
Navy
blue
suit on
there.
Christopher Vargo,
Okay.
which would have been my nephew. Yeah, in the Navy suit.
Our parents always tried to dress us all so nicely. And I'm sure it wasn't easy to buy nice clothes for all those kids.
John Hinko and Sabina, his wife. And who's that next to him?
That was Ann Zeminski.
John Hinko, the other John Hinko
That's
right in
Ann
front of him.
Zeminski next to
Ann
Grandma.
Zeminski. Now, who is she?
That's my husband's aunt.
And Mike Hinko.
Yeah.
There's Helen Hinko, Pat in the back with a cigarette.
Who are the little kids, you know?
That's Jimmy Vargo and Christopher Vargo. They're cousins.
Those are your nephews.
Well, no, he's my son, and the one in the sailor
Oh.
suit's my nephew.
No, I think we're on Drexel Avenue here again. And
Yeah.
this is Helen Hinko with
Mm.
John Hinko. And who's that?
Eileen.
No,
Wow, glam.
Christmas time, obviously. There's that aluminum Christmas tree. with
That's
the-
Yes.
Nothing.
Whose house is this, Mike?
I
It says
think this
Christmas
is
like
our
a Drexel.
house.
Like some
This is
aluminum.
at 10448 Calumet?
You sure?
No,
I think this
we
is
didn't have
There's
to
Drexel.
go
Mike.
like that.
My brother, Mike Hinko.
That's Karen in the
Green
Green
dress.
girl.
And there's
And Deborah
Debbie.
Hinko.
Deborah.
That's
Yeah.
Mike Sr.
I guess this must be at
Joe.
Grandma and Grandpa's
Yeah,
house.
this is Drexel Avenue. Yeah. And
imagine today if there were that many people smoking in a living room.
or just that many people in a small, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you can't tell how small this room is, but it was just
yeah,
tiny.
really small.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
They all gathered in.
And
Yeah.
especially with the hot
Bacon,
lights
they will
from this.
come
Oh, and they gave Corky the leather jacket.
This is for his police job. Nice, nice warm jacket for all those nights on the beat.
There's
Chicago
Mike
Police.
Hinko, son of Joe Hinko, and Joe. And Mike
John
Hinko.
Hinko.
Look at John and Mike with their big candy canes.
That's Donna. Where you going?
Yeah, Donna Vargo.
Taking them guns.
They were transported at the guns.
There's Grandma with her grandchildren.
Donna,
Wow.
Jim,
Mike.
Sabina, Grandma, Grandpa.
Grandpa doesn't look too happy.
Oh no, but you know he was. That was his look. That was the expression he almost always had on his face. You know, you can remember these times.
Marsha.
That wasn't
Yeah,
Yeah. Grandpa,
so much fun.
And Deborah.
Grandma, Jim and Donna.
That's Jimmy and Greg and
Uh-huh.
Corky.
Mike,
Big
the
Mike.
other Mike.
Yeah.
Big Mike, little Mike.
Big Mike and Little Mike. Although he calls himself now the real Mike Hinko. It's his,
Uncle Corey. Oh, that was Uncle Mike's picture.
Yeah.
Back at the cottage in the winter.
There's John Hinko. And
Did you-
Deborah.
Isn't it Debbie?
yeah, I don't know what she's trying to. It looks like she's trying to hit it with a broom handle or something.
Yeah.
Obviously an
I
impromptu.
was firing heat at her.
Oh, yeah.
There was no way she was gonna be
Makeshift.
able to hit anything.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan type stuff.
Oh, I think she hit one.
Yeah.
She did.
Made you run.
Grandpa and Grandma.
And this is warmer times.
And I
Same
think
place.
this is I think might be an anniversary because it looks like they're both getting gifts and they're sitting together at the Beverly Shores cottage.
That's Deborah right there, isn't
That's Deborah. I think I think this is a little bit earlier than that one where you're playing baseball
Mm-hmm.
because she looked a little older in that one.
Coin collection.
Oh, fit the coin collection, that was from my brother John, because he
Yeah.
collected coins.
Mm-hmm.
Here's little Deborah.
Nice quilt.
Maybe this is 50 years or something, because they
Oh, there's
probably-
Mike.
Yeah, my dad, Mike
Yeah.
Hinko Sr., and Grandma and Grandpa on a swing, I think.
That swing was fabulous.
Nice summer day at the cottage.
Aunt Marie, Pauline,
There was Joe with the camera strapped around his
Mike
shoulder.
Hinko.
It seems like we just were out of the cottage constantly in
Mhm.
the
Those were
summer.
always my favorite times.
Oh, yeah. When you think back to your youth, that's what you think about is the cottage.
There's Eileen. Mike.
And Rosalie and Donna were there. Dick Griffiths.
There's your dad, Dick Griffiths.
Donna's in maternity clothes. It's gotta be before Karen was born.
Is that Sharon Tatum on the swing?
It is my friend Sharon. And Debbie. Michael,
Rosalie.
Rosalie.
This
Yeah,
was a
'cause
group.
Marsha.
There's
That would be the spring of 63, because I saw Greggy, so I'm in maternity clothes with Karen.
Wow. John. That is Sharon Tatum.
And who was Sharon Tatum?
One of my girlfriends from high school. So
Might
Sharon-
it have been an anniversary then in '63?
Could be.
Because I definitely
Right.
know that,
I
this
bet-
is the spring of 63.
I bet that is because they came over to this country just before that and they weren't married when they came over. So I bet that was
Oh,
their
no.
50th anniversary.
This is the nickel plate. This is where my grandfather John Hinko, he worked on this railroad here.
Now, my brother Mike looked at this and said that this might have been his last day of work.
Could have been.
And that Cork had taken pictures of him making his final rounds.
Now he inspected. I think he inspected the chassis. I think his last job on here was inspection job. But Marsha, did you say you might have also done some?
I thought he was cooking on the wrecking cruise.
Okay.
That's what I thought he was doing. Somebody had told me.
But anyway, it's nickel plate. You can see it on one of the cars. You can also see a Pullman car made in the Pullman community. The Pullman factory is right adjacent to Rosemore and Drexel Avenue and all that.
Look at that train on the
This
track
is some
next
vintage
going,
footage
man.
here, though. This is just incredible.
Wow.
See you later.
He had quite a spry step.
Yeah. Pullman car right there. Now this is
Sklar,
who
one of the Sklar brothers.
we're trying to.
Oh, that must have been
That's
John. and
That's
Di-
Jerry, and that's John and Jerry Sklar again.
And they're 2 boys, right? They have 2
I
boys.
think I only had one boy, Gary. And that would be the darker head for him.
Looks like the cottage wasn't completed at that time, so they've still got the piles of cinder blocks.
Well, you'd think so,
Oh,
but
that was-
that pile was there. Our family liked to collect a lot of unique items and put
Those
them in.
traits have been handed down through generations.
Put them in piles, because you never can you never can tell when you're going to need that stuff.
You just never know. And certainly, once you've gone through the Depression, these people were
Now this
not
is
about to throw anything.
in Washington D.C. at the dedication of the statue to Taras Shevchenko, who was a Ukrainian poet and freedom fighter. And my dad had been involved in politics. Mike Hinko had been involved in politics and was invited to that dedication of that statue. And I think Grandma and Grandpa went with.
The only other time I've seen the name Taras was my mother, Helen
There's my sister Deborah.
Gazeski Hinko. Her brother was named Taras, Uncle Taras. Correct, Eileen?
Now, where was this?
It's in Washington D.C.
In Washington. In the summer, obviously.
Obviously, nice and hot.
Robert, what year is this?
In the 60s, I think. Early
Well, Deborah,
60s.
Bard of Ukraine.
what year was Deborah born in, Mike?
She was born 18 months after I was, so
57.
50.
And she looks like she's about 10 years old there, so this would be about 66.
Mid to late
67.
60s.
Yeah, mid 60s, late.
Now, I think, sometimes I think
Well, you
Grandma,
can kind of look at the cars.
Edsel,
Grandma and
that's like
Grandpa
a
always
58
seemed
Edsel though.
more comfortable in their home than out in public like that.
And that was
Richie.
Richie. Oh, Carol Podlecki.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Carol Fluffy.
And Carol was what relation?
She was a niece of Grandma.
Grandma's sister's daughter. Or, I don't know. Fluffy,
No,
if
that was on Grandpa's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Grant.
Aunt Carolyn Podlecki was Grandpa's sister, and and Carol Podlecki was
There's Marie
the
Griffiths
niece.
cleaning up.
And we
There's
know that.
smoke.
Sausage, smokehouse.
They smoke their own sausage out at the dunes.
Made their own and smoked
Pronounced
their own.
sausage. On the south side, Marsha.
I guess she's picking up some things to put into the smokehouse.
This is Corky. He's checking it. No, not quite done. Pretty soon.
Classic look.
Yeah, and
That is a classic.
and how many great times did Corky spend with us, John? Always with the kids.
Yeah.
Always one great time after another. Taking us here, taking us there.
Corky had no kids of his own, but he had all the nieces and
Oh,
nephews that
no,
were his.
he had-
and
He had more kids than anybody.
He
Look
did
at that
everything
sausage.
for us.
Oh boy, I can't tell you how great that sausage tasted. It was just so
Yeah.
good.
Now that's their grave in Mount Hope Cemetery.
This is a Coast Guard function. Corky was with the Coast Guard for many, many years. I'm not exactly sure what the occasion, but shot some footage of this.
Now, whose football game is this?
This happens to be mine.
With all the different color helmets.
Yeah, I was on the scrub team, except we played,
Hillcrest?
we were playing Rich Central. Yeah, that's me, 75. Big beefy lineman.
What position did you play, John?
I was playing defensive tackle. And then quarterback.
And here again, Corky's, he's out here, he's shooting footage of this, always involved with all of our lives.
That was absolutely true.
Yeah.
Surrounded by a cornfield.
Mm-hmm. Hillcrest.
Probably no cornfields left around there anymore.
No, they're all built up in the homes.
Yeah.
Actually, that was me, number 10. I forgot about that. Don't fumble. Good exchange.
Wasn't that a girl
Well-
who pushed you over, John?
Yeah, girl.
It was a co-ed league. It was a little embarrassing. My college career was much
There's
better.
Corky down at his trailer in Florida.
Yep.
Give it. You gotta do that.
Wow.
Down in Florida.
Florida.
And
That was a perfect thing to end with, Mike.
It-